Okay, I sell landed property, and then I have one of around Lekki that when you buy one, you get one free. We're also giving out 55-inch flat screen TV. You buy land or have this item, we give out to ground. We have 4%.
Okay, so how can we reach you?
My number is 070 3876
Thank you. Hello, good morning. The numbers to call is 009-191-3913 or 0809-222-0913. We apologize for the technical glitches. 015151913. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name or where are you calling us from?
Good morning. My name is Betty. I'm calling from Lekki. And we're into gym equipment, your treadmill, your stepper, your bike, electrical. We fix, we repair, we also install. And if your equipment are not working well, you want to fix them. We're always very prompt and very effective and we're unique.
Okay, so how can we reach you?
And our phone number is 00-273-675-63.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name or where are you calling us from?
I'll have to use the name calling from Bootstrapping.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we are basically into fumigation, general fumigation and industrial fumigation, anything fumigation. Against crawling bug around the cockroaches, rodents, just mention it, all types of pests. We can help you take care of it at home, the office, or anywhere you want us to come and communicate, maybe your house and what have you. So our contact is 080-25-83-22-31.
Thank you. 015151913 or 015151913. Signals business, so we pitch and sell in 30 seconds. Your name, your location, what did you sell? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Lekki, Ajay area.
Your name, please.
I'm calling from the seat furniture and decorations. We're into furniture. We make chairs, table, wardrobes. Can name it anything furniture. 62497494.
Thank you. 015151913 or 015150913. The signals business where we pitch and sell in 30 seconds. If you want to sell on behalf of someone, now is the time to do so. 009-234-5913 009. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name or where are you calling us from? Good morning.
Yes, my name is Good Motive and I'm calling you from last week on the road.
Okay, what are we selling?
Yes. So, Good Motive Store, we deal with selling of free-to-air satellite dish and decoder, where you will not be paying monthly or yearly subscription. It's just a one-time payment and it will be installed for you. So many persons have been using it for the past 8 years now. And we have free-to-air channels for sports, football, for news, entertainment. You can contact us on 080-649-60093.
Thank you. 009-234-5913 or 015151913 or 015150913. Signals business, so we pitch and sell in 30 seconds. 009-234-5913. We have like 2 minutes to go. So call us 009-222-0913 009-191-3913. The signals business where we pitch and sell in 30 seconds. 009-234-5913 015151913. Hello, good morning. Please reduce the volumes of your radio set.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. call us back. 009-191-3913. 009-222-0913. 0151519113. Signals business 0151519113. 0151509113. Let's do this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name or where you calling us from? Good morning.
Okay, my name is Popola Ridwan Adewale.
Where are you calling us from?
We are into solar installations, home installations, and also we do CCTV installation, intercom, and electric fence. So our office is at number 4 Kibishile Street, Abbott Kiobo Stop Agege, Lagos. You can contact us on 08121 517 287.
Thank you. And that's it for Signals Business. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
There's a new cuisine in town. A glass of wine, a cup of coffee. And
If you are like me,
a glass of smoothie.
yes.
At 10 a.m.
So we're talking growing and managing talent with Ifeoma Martins. I got it away.
Have you been disconnected because you didn't link your national identification number to your MTN number? Don't worry. If you already have your NIN, here are 5 ways to reconnect. 1. Dial *785#. 2. Text your national identification number NIN to 785. 3. Chat with Ziggy on WhatsApp number +234 9033 000001. 4. Visit my MTN NG app. Or 5. Visit www.mtn.ng. If you don't have a national identification number, just walk into any MTN store or Nimsi Center near you or visit...
Because I was wondering, how somebody else is shop of that.
What are we doing today?
Okay, thank you. We're talking growing and managing talents in the light of ASU strike. Okay. Welcome back to Signals on 91.3 Lagos Talks. If you're just tuning in, it's Signals, and we're having an interesting conversation this morning. It's called Growing and Managing Talents, and I have with me. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I experience spans across operations, business development, advisory, and recruiting across African continent, which is the marketing. Hey, I've added marketing to you. So the Chief Operating Officer at Career Body Incorporated, a talent solution software and media company. Joining us this morning is Ifeoma Martins. Welcome to Signals.
Thank you.
So yes, we've had, let me confess, we had a blossoming, an interesting conversation this morning. I forgot that my time was almost up, and thankfully that Kayode came to rescue me. Now we're going to take that conversation. We're talking growing and managing talent. Now, in the light of ASU strike, what are your thoughts about it first? Yes, because it's almost like 1,500 days and counting that they've been at home.
It's unbelievable that we've had young people, having to sort of just stay home, being, maybe for lack of a better word, being unproductive,
yes,
right? And, delaying the time they need to get into the labor force as well. So I think, or I advise that in the light of this, what is going on, a lot of young people start finding their path, start using this opportunity to learn certain skills, and there are certain organizations that are willing to take on people for a short period. So start finding what you think you want to do and try that out in terms of maybe internships. And then, just use it so that by the time ASU is over, you sort of have a foundation of where you think you want to go at the end of this thing. Because I know someone who probably with ASU strike already has 1 year experience working for an organization remotely as an intern. And I think she sort of feels like she knows where she wants to go. So in the light of the strike, by the time it ends, she feels, okay, I think this sort of helped me in a way, but I think let's make the most of what we have and the time and just use it for something and not just wait for us, because it's crazy.
Now let's start with the job of everybody tends to call themselves chief operating officer, CEO. It's a buzzword.
Really?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Because it's almost as if everybody, even for somebody who is selling, and it's valid, right? They call themselves. But tell us the job.
I think generally, generally a COO handles day-to-day operational things. The COO is like the CEO's right-hand person who is like an executor. So this person makes sure that all the strategy or the vision that the business has is actually implemented on a day-to-day basis and on a quarterly basis, because the results or the performance of the CEO is, you can see it on a day-to-day and quarterly. So you can review, have our operations become efficient? Are we better? Have we achieved the results that we have planned out for maybe a particular period of time? So generally, if you handle the day-to-day efficiency of a business or of an organization, you are most likely going to be called a CEO, most likely. But then it's not like a self-imposed title. You sort of have to earn it.
Imposed title.
Yeah, you have to earn it. It's not, I don't think it's such an easy thing to get to that point. But if you want to call yourself that, feel free.
We're talking growing and managing talent. What is talent and how do we grow and manage them?
So generally, I think the word talent is taken from, or we can narrow that down from the sort of people you have in your business or in your organization. So everyone is a talent, but then you now have to cater what sort of talent you have. Do you have blossoming talent? Do you have talents that needs to be developed? Do you have the talents that feels like they're plug and play, right? So everybody who brings one thing or the other in an organization would be referred to as a talent. So even if you run a business that does probably clothing, your tailors are your talents, right? And as we know, an organization's most important asset is the talent. So it's the people they have on there that makes for the success of the organization. So generally, everyone you have on your business should be called a talent.
Talent. How do we manage this talent?
That's a very serious one.
That we're going to talk about this morning.
That's a very serious one. So I think in the light of what we have in this space, I think largely, and I'm trying to say this with a pinch of salt, so it's not misconstrued as anything, but I think generally I see that in Africa, the management of talent is not taken as serious as it should, because I think we have this notion, or there's this widespread notion of many fishes in the pond, fishes in the river, right? But I have come to see that, there might be many fishes in the river, but not that type of fish, not that type of talent, not what that person actually brings to the table. And it comes from a lot of training. It comes from a lot of coaching. It comes from a lot of mentorship. It comes from a lot of, adjustment to time, tide, and also the space at which they are at that point in their career. So it has brought them to the point where they can deliver, and managing that talent is very critical to manage all the way from the bottom to the top. So you don't manage only the people whom you feel, these ones are great, these ones are good. You have to manage across board, because you want for your team C players to one day get to the point where they are team A players, and when they are team A players, not the point where they now have to jump ship. You want to, when you have invested when you've invested in in developing them, you want to reap the fruit of your investment. You want to make sure that having done all of this, you can manage them efficiently and effectively to the point where at least there's return on investment, sort of that kind of thing.
Okay, so before we get to ROI on each talent, we're in an environment where everybody's poaching. There are many fishes in the ocean, but some people have more hook
to grab some.
Yes. So how then are we able to keep them? Because it's one thing to grow them. It's another thing to see that this one has talent has matured.
I don't think we can't fight the fact that the poaching world is very real, and as much as your great talent, some people are talking to them in LinkedIn. or
Yeah.
people are really talking to them. And I think it has a lot to do with always wanting to have conversations as to where they are, right? Trying to find out if, you know, they still have that satisfaction in doing what they are doing, where they are doing it. And I think it's something we generally, maybe the role of a CEO also entails, you know, always making sure that you're not having to replace your best people too frequently, because that's a problem. It would actually tell on your bottom line, because when you have new people, it takes time for them to adjust and all of, even if they're great now. So there are different cultures and different organizational attributes. So it takes time for them to settle in and do. And so that time, money don't go. So so for that period, you want to make sure that, you know, your great guys are still on the team. And the way to go about that, one of the ways to go about that is periodic, you know, conversation, periodic one-on-one sessions to
But
understand.
you know, somebody is listening and saying that we have one-on-one sessions with them, we have periodic conversations with them, and the next thing we are hearing is, oh, sorry, we cannot.
But I think you typically would know, you would get a hint from certain, sometimes.
Some people are very good at hiding.
But yes, so you can't totally, I think if it's someone who's great at people profiling, you'll be able to pick, you know, something, the person might drop something, right?
There's a sleep somewhere.
You know, you might feel it in the body language, but typically you have to prepare for the worst, right? And how do you prepare? You always have to have people on the team. You always have to have those talents that can always step into that person's shoes, even if it's not 100%, but at least cover majorly some lapses if the person has to leave. And that's where we have to always talk about succession planning.
Succession planning. Okay, so yes, we talk about succession planning, and what about if you don't have somebody to succeed the person that's leaving?
That is a flaw. Not you typically,
Because
ideally,
you don't want to, because people are going to leave. You can't tell people to stay.
No, of course
people
not.
are going to leave.
In this Jackpot world, people are going to leave.
No, let's not even get it first. And people are going to leave. But then, I think I was reading, I don't know what I went through this period week, but someone was complaining about how a whole department is left.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no succession planning.
Yeah, I think with that, and typically happens a lot more on the engineering side. So that's the software engineering team.
And then the hospital to some of.
Oh yeah,
so
that.
the doctors are.
Oh my god.
There's a certain. There was a comment I read that somewhere in Port Harcourt, a whole department left in the hospital.
Wow.
So how do we tell that person?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't funny.
Wow.
And they're losing them to they're losing them to the Japa syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
People are leaving. People are really, really leaving.
Yes.
And then the bulk of people, and that's why I asked about the ASTRO strike. Now, the bulk of people that are supposed to even take over don't have the skill.
Yeah.
Don't have the skill set again.
Yeah.
And they don't have we just have to start training. So it's tiring.
It is. It is very tiring, but then
A whole department, no succession planning.
Yeah, you can't help
it. No succession planning.
You can't help it, and that's why, as a business, you always have to think about your business continuity, right? So people are going to
only you.
People are going to leave, and you have to find a way to, would I call it, shocking that shock in a way, because people are going to leave right now. The country is just, and they, not everyone might be leaving for Jackpot. Some people might just be leaving for a better company or better opportunity, or somewhere they feel, okay, this aligns with what I want to do. But you always have to make sure that, like, people below that person, you always have to invest in making sure that your talent, you are able, there are people that can, even if they can do everything, but you can have people, different people handle different parts of those functions that one person is handling, just so for the period that the person has to leave, it does not shut down completely. There are certain roles that you just can't, like maybe doctors, you have to rule for doctors, like nurses can't do what the doctors do, right? So, but you must just always plan ahead. Like, you always have to make sure, if you have certain roles, always have someone that can, if not sit completely, but sort of help out to make sure that in the period where you are trying to find a replacement,
You have created a lot
Yes.
of assistants.
Yeah, this person can handle this person can handle this person can handle this. So you don't just have a shutdown problem. Like, you have some part of the function is still running, if not 100%, maybe 70% of it still running. And that's why you have to invest in making sure that people who are on the team can handle certain things that are maybe not exactly on their plate, but you should start preparing them to look at
Step into
wanting to
roles.
step into more things, and you don't do that if you're afraid. You have to do it, allow them fail, and tell them to get back at it. You shouldn't be afraid to test them out on it, and have the mindset that there might be small problems.
No.
But get into it nonetheless.
So you recruit talents across Africa. What do you keep out for? What do you keep an eye out for?
So because we play only in the startup space, so it's very, very unique. We always look out for people who can work in the startup space, people who understand how it is in the startup space. The startup spaces can be chaotic, and because you're being hired to do one thing, as we all know, in the startup space, you wear plenty hats, right? So yeah, I see. You'll be doing HR work, join. You have to. You just have to do a lot of things because the business is at early stage or growing stage, funding stage, and all of those things. So at different stages, as the business grows, we always look out for people who are able to adjust.
Okay, before you continue, so everybody says startup. What's the So I'm thinking of how many years can we say this is a startup?
That's a very huge one, because there's this dilemma, or this conversation is ongoing in the startup ecosystem themselves. Because sometimes people ask, there are certain companies that have done that are unicorns right now, and they're like 5 years, and are they still a startup? Sort of, And generally, I think it's because the startup world like to align with businesses that are, say, tech-enabled or tech businesses. So they just like to be under that umbrella because it just helps with
government wahala.
God bless you. It helps with a lot of things. It helps with regulations and all of that. So if you're under that umbrella, it just saves you some sort of thing. And with the advent of the new startup bill, a lot more will want to just
hide
on that there. But generally, I think businesses that are or tech businesses more specifically that are probably over 5 years are not supposed to be startup anymore, because you are not supposed to be starting up anything at that time. You are now at growing stage. So you are growing.
Keep hearing startup, and I'm like, okay, so for how long are you going to
If you're below 5 years, you can stay under the startup umbrella, but after 5 years, and you shouldn't. I think you should be ashamed to be calling yourself startup.
Okay, then. So you had to recruit. Okay, before we came on air, we're talking about what your thoughts were on remote working.
Yeah. Well, I'm 100% on remote work.
No, I'm not 100% on remote work.
I think because I won't say I'm biased towards it, because
you're not paying operational views.
That's the good thing. When I think of the fact that I'm not having to think of paying rent anywhere, paying right now the cost of diesel, right? It just I'm like, okay, at least, my cost is,
bill.
Yes, I pay data bill and even call allowance as well. But it's like, okay, fine. But I don't think everybody can, or all companies can go fully remote. That's the reality. Let's not even kid ourselves. And I think even talent across the globe have to also understand that there are certain businesses. I've had people who turn down offers because they're like, it has to be fully remote. But not every company can go fully remote. And not everyone is efficient while working remotely. So for companies that, for companies that have that as part of their working model, one of the key things they look out for during the entire hiring process is someone who understands the concept of remote work and is able to deliver at remote working. It's not, some people will be working remote and you see them in the market. It's on a working deal, and
do with that?
It's crazy, and that's why not everyone. I think you have to identify people who understand that concept of remote work. So for me, when we have to hire, maybe do interns and all of that, and sort of explain it to them. And with the advent of ASUSRAC, we've been having to hire a lot of interns just to keep up, have them do something. I think I would say it's sort of like our own way of just getting people to be busy for the time being. But if we're looking at experienced hires, we always like to, find out if at some point, have you worked remote before? Have you worked maybe a flexible working model? Just so I see that you understand what the concept of remote work is. Because I don't want a situation where somewhere else.
Wait now, just go now. Now, you've talked about concept of remote working. What is the concept?
So the concept, there's this thing. So there are two things, right, that I think people misconstrue a little bit more. Remote work and work from home.
Aha!
Those are two different things. So remote work, you are just not working from a central location, right? You can work from anywhere.
A cafe.
Anywhere at all, a cafe.
Anywhere
convenient, right?
And meets you.
Exactly. And if you have a front-facing role and maybe you have to do a lot of telephone calls or meetings and all, most likely cannot work from a noisy place. So you have to find somewhere else. Then the work from home part is for people who typically do hybrid work model. So you are specifically to work from your house. Some companies, not in Nigeria, offer like they sort of set you up, to work from home. So you have like a small cushioning so that you can work from home. But remote work is generally you can work from anywhere, different time zone as well. So as long as the time zone is not totally upsetting to the business, or yourself as well. So you can have someone who works from Canada and you're working for a Nigerian company, or by the time we are shutting down is when you're waking up. So that time zone doesn't really work. So we have companies that will tell you the specific time zones they prefer: +2, -2, +3, -3, nothing more than +4, -4. Any of these time zones work for them. So you can work from anywhere in the world, and that's okay.
Okay. Now, growing talents is not really easy activity to do, right? How then are you able to manage them? Do you have people that you mentor?
Yeah.
Okay, so run me through your mentoring process. let me sneak peek into it.
So I don't do a lot of mentoring, or I really pick, because it's very
tedious.
It is very tedious, and I try as much as possible to make sure that it's actually impactful for myself as well and for them. I try to learn from them as well. And so before I would even pick someone to mentor, I would typically want to see that this person is like a diamond in the rough. You have something, but you just need help. You just need some sort of guidance. It's would I say attitude, right? Some sort of, something you just can't place your hand on, but you just know, with a little bit of, shaping here and there, this person could actually come out well. So for me, generally, it's first thing to see that you are able to, I don't want it to be a time waster.
What's the first assignment you give your mentee?
First assignment.
Yes.
It's very dependent on maybe where I think you want to go, and I start with first a general research. I want to understand your world view, so we don't clash on certain things, right? So just to understand, do we have a similar world view? I don't want to waste my time talking to someone who thinks that things should be done not things should be done a different way, but someone who probably thinks very opposite from the way I think. And when I'm talking one thing, the person is just going the other way. So just generally get the person's research, thought on a few things globally, and then see how your thought pattern would help with what we are embarking upon. So it's not. Let me not talk.
The signals on 91.3. We're talking growing and managing talents with Ifeoma Martins. If you have a question or a comment, send us a WhatsApp message at 009-234-5913 or call us 015151913. 015150913 or 0809191313. Entrepreneurs have a habit of discovering lucrative opportunities. Would you call yourself a corporate entrepreneur?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, so I think there's something I don't know. While in my early stage of my career, I used to use the word entrepreneur, right?
Okay, working for someone.
Yeah, but then I think about a year ago, I looked at it like, okay, you don't necessarily probably have to have started your own business, right? You at a specific time in your own career, you could find someone whose business or whose company aligns with what you would like to do and help grow it, right? And just take it on as your child, as your baby, and take it on to the next level. And I think for me is, I'll describe myself that way because I love to build, right? And I so far have enjoyed and still enjoying building, what I'm doing at Career Body. And I think, so it just helps me to, do what I would like to do for myself, but doing it for somebody else. And I don't think there's no problem with that.
Not at all. So why Career Body?
I think I love what Career Body does. And the fact that we play only in the startup space. I enjoy.
You not see growing business. You just
no, but because I see that startup or the technology space in Africa is really, really growing, and it's the future, right? And I felt, okay, what better way than to just dive into it and see what is actually happening there. We are getting a lot of global attention. Businesses or companies that have been set up here are solving real-time problems, right? And I thought, well, it would be nice to know how they solve these problems. How do they go about finding this solutions at all? And if I would go there, where should I be?
Recruiting.
It has to be in Career Body, be on the lips of everybody, because we are like the go-to company for startups in Africa. So it's like, let us just go and do more here, and it's been a
So
long
how many
ride.
people have you been able to get into the startup?
I cannot count. Should we say this year alone?
Let's say the last 1 month.
In the last 1 month, let's say probably about 30 people.
30 people.
Yeah, so across Africa, but majorly Nigeria. Then we've done a few we found or we hired people for an Egyptian company from India, so they wanted only Indians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are people doing in most of these foreign companies? How are Nigerians doing?
Actually, they're doing quite well. And we have a lot of this company that we had to help with finding people from India rather, because the company is in Egypt. We have hired a lot of Nigerians for them in the last 1 year. And they decided at that point was, we have a lot of Nigerians. Right?
We don't want
Nigerians anymore. Let's move to a fairly, should I say, market, which is India, which also is similar in terms of labor and in terms of labor cost. We're not very expensive. That's the truth.
So how has the salary been like?
Well, so
highest paid salary.
Highest paid salary is somewhere around $150,000.
A Nigerian gets that.
Yes, no.
And you're not saying.
But that person is an engineering manager.
Okay.
So yeah.
But you're not saying that they should not jackpot.
This
is what people talk about as jackpot. Because it's so. Where are you on? Which divide are you on? To live or not to live?
I think I'm just in the middle because it works for certain people. I think if you're it's easy for you to get foreign roles and earn well, right? If you are working for a foreign company but you live in Nigeria. So at the time I'm looking at what the USD exchange rate is. So
it's all right.
So you'll be
happy.
You'll be feeling okay, right? But there are certain people, and I think the guys or the tech world provides that advantage, right, for you to be able to live here and work for foreign companies and still earn in USD and be fairly okay. But there are certain people who work for Nigerian companies and you're being paid in naira, and we know that the economy is shrinking, sort of, yeah, and it's not safe for businesses at the moment. Businesses are going through a lot to pay salaries, so you also have to understand that more money no day, right? So if you don't get that massive increment you're looking out for, you would start looking at other places, right? And so that does not sort of help with people who are looking at their earning potential, like here in Nigeria, looking at other people who have similar skill sets abroad. So it's like, let me just go, so I would earn well and live in probably a saner environment. So, but I'm just in the middle somehow.
I'm going. A lot of people are going, and a lot of people are coming back.
Yes.
So, between you and I, we are wondering why they're coming back.
Exactly.
But what do you think they're coming back?
Really, the truth is,
because I see other people online, they're doing businesses here in Nigeria. I'm wondering why.
A lot of them are coming back. We have a lot of startup founders that are most of them are, a lot of them are non-Nigerians or non-Africans, and they are the ones that are Africans but have lived abroad all their lives or were born there, but they're setting up companies in Africa for Africa. And you'd wonder, what do you see? What are you doing here? You know, you have a lot of people, you get, maybe, as for recruiters, you get a lot of people from Asia, India, North America, you know, messaging you and saying, trying to find out if there are opportunities for them in Africa. And you'd wonder, why do you want to leave America to come to Nigeria?
Yes, now, like, what are you looking for? Bad roads, everything is working together, not for it.
You want to leave Europe to come, and why are you looking for what is here? And that brings you to, you know, to think about, you know, looking at what we have from a different perspective. Is there something we're overlooking? What do they see that we, because we're here, we don't see those things?
Looking at us as markets.
But and that's the thing. The funny thing is, that's it. There is a market here, right? There is a massive market, and because of the way things are done in Africa, it has created a viable market for some of these companies to thrive and grow. But we were not seeing it. We're not seeing that market. So I think we need to probably look more and understand how we can make the most of what we have, because I think in terms of numbers, in terms of resources, it plays a big advantage, and that's what they see.
Okay. So it signals you have questions for Ifeoma. Please call us 00, because I'm asking her everything right now. Call us on WhatsApp 0809-234-5913, or call us 0809-191-3913 or 015151913. No, quickly. Because you work in tech startup space, for somebody who is not a tech person, would they still be able to get foreign jobs?
Yeah. So in the tech space, we have what we call the tech talent and the non-technical talents, right? So the tech talents are like the software engineers and all of those, and then the non-technical guys are, you know, the
customer
growth
service
people, customer support, onboarding, all of those things, people in the marketing and sales, content developers, content writers. Say you can maybe more or less, there's a cross function between UX writer and you know, and so there are a lot of non-technical roles. There's data analysis and all of those in the tech space. So as long as you can, you know, while you are working or you want to go into the tech space, you identify what you want to do there, and you are able to grasp as much as possible, you can actually position yourself for foreign companies. I know people that work for foreign companies and are not technical. They're not the technical talents. They're non-technical, but they work in the tech space, and they are able to position themselves as like having grown and understood what they are doing in the tech space and then sell themselves to the global market. I have someone who used to be on my team and used to work as our head of marketing and is working for a US company right now, but he's not a technical person, right? But so you just have to understand the environment, the tech space that you work in, and use that as a yardstick for you to position for other companies across the continent.
We're talking growing and managing talent. When you see a talent, what's the first thing? What's the first thing you see?
I think when I identify it, I don't know if I should use that word.
Yeah,
okay.
Identify.
So when I identify someone whom I think, oh wow, and first thing that comes to mind, where does this person fit? Where does this person fit? Does this person fit in my organization, or do I think this person would be great elsewhere, or this person is just great? I have to continue to keep this person warm, either to join me or just to share with an organization that I think would also appreciate that this person is actually great. So I think first thing for me would just be, where would this person function optimally? Where can this person blossom? And I think that's generally the first thing in my head. Do we have something that would fit for this person?
So it means that when you're going to pass, you're going anywhere. You're just seeing talent.
When I go, oh my God, seriously. So
you're going everywhere. You're seeing this is talent.
No, seriously, because I don't go out so much, but when I do and I engage with people, before that conversation is over and I see, this person has something, I'm collecting your number, email address, LinkedIn. We are going to keep in touch. We have to keep in touch because I have to either buy your market or I'll sell it to someone else. Yeah.
Okay. So highest bidder.
Yes, nah.
So growing managing talent, it's big.
Yeah.
I remember that because I didn't want this one to sleep. We're talking about tech startup space and how people are getting funding, they will expand. You'll now be thinking that you have your own business, you tend to trust them. You now be wondering, hey God, though, Mr. I'll not expand like this. What about that?
So please, my dear founders, don't kill me for this.
No, but really, you find out that because they're having a lot of funding, it helps them to expand.
Yes,
but the businesses who don't have funding, they're looking and see God win.
I think, and the downside of that is what we're currently seeing in the global startup environment, which has come to, it feels like there's a bubble that has just burst. So they're laying off massively. Not laying off, they've laid off massively. And it feels like it's trickling down a bit to our continent, sort of. Some people are codedly laying off people, and just using certain phrases like, oh, we can't pay now, we can stay, or you can just take a long sabbatical leave and we'll call you back and stuff like that. But we know what the true reality is. And I think it's just for smaller, businesses, smaller startups to not feel
intimidated,
threatened by that.
But by the time you go on Twitter, XYZ, I just read.
Yeah, I know that's the thing, right? I think the news.
And you're also asking is, what are we doing that we can sell to these people?
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, as it is right now, a lot of publicity goes to the companies that are receiving money. And I've always said this so much that it's so unfair that there isn't any recognition going to bootstrap companies that are just making it on a day-to-day, keeping their 10 employees happy, just they're not out there going to look for $2 million to come and go and expand somewhere. They're just taking it day in, day out and making revenue. And the funny thing is, a lot of these companies that are raising money are not even profitable yet. So you have your own 10 employees. Exactly. At least you're even profitable, right? But the buzz around funding could easily intimidate you into feeling maybe we should go and package something and then go and let's go out there and go and look for it's
not for you.
It's not. And I think that a lot has to be done in terms of trying to encourage or even celebrate bootstrapped companies. It's not easy to run a company in this climate. So if you are doing it with your own, like with the company's money, not collecting outside money, please, you need to applaud them because it's not easy. It's not. It's easier to do it to other people's money, right? But
OPM.
you know, exactly, you know, but to do it with what the company makes and to sustain it continuously, it's something that we should always applaud the guys who are doing it, because it's not biz, right? It's not.
It's not biz. My time is almost up. Before we wrap this up, again, for talents who don't even know their talent, what should they start to do gradually?
I think everybody should see themselves as a talent, right? If you do not look at yourself that way, you wouldn't even want to put in the work to become great at something.
Marketable.
Exactly. So you need to identify, admit to yourself that you are a talent, and how can I, put myself in a position where I can be the one who's bidding for where or what I want to do. And that takes a lot of work. So you have to put in the work yourself. Personal growth is not something you should joke around with. And not just, getting all this. I know people who are more crazy about certificates. It's not about the certificates you get. It's about the knowledge that you absorb from it and how you are able to put that into work, given the opportunity. So don't be crazy about, just doing any and anything. Do things that would actually grow you, and take the time to want to explore that in a way. Try to find opportunities to do one or two things to enhance that thing you have just learned. So keep growing, never stop growing, because if you stop growing, you stay stagnant and the world keeps moving.
No, Ifeoma will not come and market you. That's the way I'm going to put it. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, had fun. Yeah. So we come your way again next week Saturday, like we always say. Create opportunities for people. Carol, they wait now. Create opportunities for people. And because people will be people, keep creating opportunities. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for my Williams.
Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful week. God bless.
All right.
Yeah, we had